Hi, my name is Kim Alexander. I am the Training Accessibility Manager for T-Levels in the Humber and North Yorkshire Integrated Care Board. I focus on the T-Level qualification and the industry placements that happen in health and care across the Humber and North Yorkshire footprint. I am here today at Highlands Health Centre with my colleague George to meet Izzy, who is a former T-Level Health learner and is currently studying an apprenticeship with City Healthcare Partnership.
Hello, I'm George Zerner and I'm a Training Accessibility Manager leading on apprenticeships for Humber and North Yorkshire Integrated Care Board. Today we'll be talking to Izzy about her apprenticeship journey.
My name's Isabel Kipling and I'm an Apprentice Associate Practitioner with the DN Colleges Group, and my employer is CHCP. During college I did the T-Level Health course at Wilberforce and my placement was at Highfields Rehabilitation Centre.
As I understand it, you did the T-Level Health at Wilberforce College.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me, what did you know? How did you find out about the T-Level? What were your thoughts about it?
Honestly, I didn't even know that it existed until I went for the opening day.
Okay.
And then I was looking at the health and social care, and then when I was walking around, they said, because of what you want to be, I don't think that'd be right for you.
Okay.
So I thought, oh well, what are the other options? And that's when they told me. And as soon as they told me, they showed me the room where all the dummies are and everything like that. And I just wanted to do it straight away. I was real excited, and that was how I found out. And then after that, I stuck with it, and that was what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts then? So you went to this open day already with an idea in your mind of what you wanted to do in terms of your
Originally,
career?
I was going to do health and social care and then PE to be a physio.
Oh, okay.
And then they said, this would be a better route to take and you'd get the experience and everything.
Yeah.
And so I decided to take it.
So what was it specifically that made you think, yes, I'm going to do the T-Level?
Definitely all the on-hand stuff and all the placements that you get to go on. Because I'm very much, I struggle learning things if I'm just being told it and listening and things like that. But then when they showed us the room and everything you got to do, and that's what won it over. It was just all all the room. I actually got to go in there, to test it out and stuff beforehand. And I saw all the dummies and the bits where you could take the belly out and see all the organs and everything like that. And then the placement, obviously it's a 9-week-long placement. Yeah. So I think that was probably the best bit about the T-Level, how much time I got to do practically working.
Yeah. Oh, fab. And was it your first kind of experience of being in a workplace? Had you ever done anything like it before?
No, I'd never done anything like that before, so I think that's what really sold the job that I wanted to do, because it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah. So how did you, when it came to doing the placement then, how did you feel beforehand?
I was quite nervous because obviously I'd never been around patients, I'd never been in that type of setting before or anything. So I was quite nervous, especially for the really long one, because I thought, I hope I enjoy it, because it's a long time to be somewhere. But then as soon as I got there, it was just like, I didn't want to leave. I kept saying to him, well, can't I just stay here? Because the placements were that good that it was really nice.
Yeah. Excellent. So what kind of things did you do to prepare yourself for coming onto a placement like this?
We did a lot of practicing the, with all the dummies and everything. So we did a lot of practice then, learning how to do personal cares and things like that. That was really good. And then we did lots of write-up about, learning about the all the different legislations and things like that. So that all helped, because you knew kind of what you could do, what you couldn't do, and things like that.
Fab. Did you have an induction?
Yeah. I had an induction. I had quite a lot, to be fair. So I had a couple of emails come through about when I was starting. Then I had 2 telephones where they rang me up and spoke to me. And then on the first day they went through another induction then. So it was as soon as my second day came, I felt like I'd already settled in because of how much I'd spoke to everyone there.
Brilliant. Excellent. So what kind of things were you doing then when you were on placement?
I think for the first one, so the first one obviously was only a week. So with that one, I did a lot of just talking to patients and observing just people, walking up patients down corridors. Because I was at a rehab centre, so I did work with physios, and I did a lot of just going in, making them a cup of tea and things like that, and just little things to try and help my confidence with talking to them.
Yeah.
And then as the placements went on, in the end I was like assisting someone with someone else to stand up using equipment and things like that, and that was really good.
Yeah. So really getting to grips with what it meant to be a physio. Yeah. How did you... Why physio? What did you know about the role beforehand?
So I originally went into physio because when my nana was really poorly, she had a physio, and they helped her with all of her talking and her speech and things like that, and her respiratory.
Okay.
So when I saw that, I was about 8 when I started caring for her, and then that's what really made me want to go into healthcare. And I was between OT and physio because I'd seen the big difference that they'd made for her. And then in the end, OT is a bit more paperworky and things like that, whereas physio is more hands-on, and that's what made me choose physio.
Excellent. Wow. So that real life experience has set you up for the career for the rest of your life. Brilliant. So what was it then, when you think back to your T-level, it's very clear you enjoyed it and you've obviously stuck with it. What do you think made that, how was it different to anything else that you'd ever done before? What made you stick with it?
I think because so obviously if we go back to school when I was doing all that learning, a lot of it I used to get quite easily distracted because I'd be sat there and there'd be things going on around me and I'd just be looking at a screen and getting told stuff, and then I wouldn't hear it and I'd get really stressed out and things like that. But then when I was doing the T-level, because of how hands-on it was and how you're not just listening to things, you're seeing it happen with your own eyes, that really helped me learn a lot. And I think how engaging it was, that's what made me stick at it.
Yeah, excellent. So actually practicing and doing those skills. Did you find you were using a lot of the skills that you'd learnt in college when you came to your placement?
Oh yeah, definitely. Even just little things like, obviously when you first start you learn the hand washing technique. You don't realise, when you first taught it you think, oh, everyone knows how to wash their hands. But then when you go to your placement you think, oh actually I'm using this like maybe 10 times a day while I'm here. It is, even the little things you realise how important the little things actually are.
Yeah, excellent. So you really could make that connection with why you were studying what you were to being able to use it. Brilliant.
Just tell me what apprenticeship you're on.
So I'm doing the apprenticeship to be an Associate Practitioner.
Okay, cool. And how did you find out about that opportunity?
Again, it came from the T-level. So obviously the T-level that I did was run by CHCP. So they used to come in all the time, and I think one of them knew how much I wanted to be a physio, and she'd said to me, she was like, oh well, we'll see what comes up and everything like that. And then she emailed me and my teacher and said, oh, this apprenticeship's come up, I think Izzy should go for it, she'd really like it. So I read all into it, and straight away I was like, I actually applied for it that day. It was 2 hours after I found out I'd applied for it, and then I found out that I'd had the interview the day later.
Oh, wow.
And I was just so excited, but that's how desperate I was just to, that I wanted it.
And why did you choose to take an apprenticeship rather than doing any other route?
I think it's the same reason that I wanted to do the T-level. It's a lot more hands-on. I know people that are doing uni and things like that, and some of them are finding it difficult because although they get the placements, they're then going out after they've finished uni, and now they're like, oh well, now I'm in a job and I don't really know what I'm doing, and I've learnt it all but I've not actually had the hands-on experience of doing it, and it's completely different. So I think after seeing that, it's made me realise this, having the hands-on straight away, you're not then having to go to a big change after of, it'd be like going from college to straight away being qualified in something crazy. I think it's a big step, so I think it's easier to have the experience now while I'm learning at the same time, so I can pick up bits from either side then.
So you made quite aware quite early of apprenticeships? We've found some people that kind of don't really know about apprenticeships. They think, oh, I'm going to go to university then.
I knew of apprenticeships because my brother did an apprenticeship as well, and I think seeing where my brother went after, because he's now a fully qualified accountant, and that's all because of an apprenticeship he did. So I think that also encouraged me, an apprenticeship is the route that I wanted to take.
Did you have any concerns about apprenticeships? Was there anything that you was a bit worried about?
I think the only thing that really worried me is the apprenticeship I'm doing, so my placement, like where I'm based, is here, but we work in the community, and going out to people's houses, that does scare me a little bit. But at the same time, the support that I've got that many people that message me, and I get emails all the time asking how I'm doing. So I think for the first week it is scary because you've got your own responsibilities and it's a lot to have. But then once you realise like you've got people around you and how much support you get, I don't think there's any worries.
So you talk about that support that you've got. What is the support that you've got, whether it's from your training provider or whether it's from your employers or whether it's from family? What does your support mechanisms look like? And how do they give you that support?
So I've got, with my college, I have initial reviews every couple of months. I think it's every 2 months. I've got one in 2 weeks. So that's really good. So what they do is they ask me how I'm getting on at work, and then they tell me what the next steps are for the learning side of it. So I always know what's coming up, and they always know what's going on here. And then the work side of it, I have quarterly meetings where then I go to my work and my managers and things like that, and we all talk about what's going on with the college side of it. So everyone's always in the loop, and then I have other people all the time. They've got like a couple of managers that message me, and then there's people that are in charge, like Sharon, she messages me all the time, and Mike, he messages me. Yeah.
That's
so
good. So it sounds very...
Yeah, and even my managers here, I know I can go to any of them all the time. Like today, I was out with somebody else doing assisted visits and things like that, so there's always someone you can go to and say, I don't really want to do this on my own, can someone come with me? And they're always more than happy to help.
Sounds really good, really good. So your typical day, week as an apprentice, what does that currently look like at the minute?
So Monday to Thursday, I work here 8:30 until 4:30, and then on a Friday I have my college day, and that's 9 till 5. So on my college day it's split up, so I have 3 hours of the day where I'm online, actually on a Teams meeting and talking to other people on my course, and that's really nice. And then for the other, it's independent study for the rest of the day. So it's either assignments or, research, things like that. And we've got apps that we've got to fill out to log our hours and everything like that. And then every couple of weeks, so we're doing it once a month at the minute, we go to Doncaster College and we have a face-to-face with the college, and I do really like that, because I think it's one thing to be over the phone, like Teams meeting something, that's easy because of where it is, but then the fact that they allow once a month for us to go in and actually talk to them and sit with them face to face, I think that's really good as well.
Cool. Yeah. Just got 2 or 3 more questions. So what do you like about this apprenticeship or your role that you're currently doing? What do you love about it?
I think honestly my favourite thing about it is the fact that I know that I'm helping people. And obviously if I went into uni and did this type of role, I wouldn't be at that step yet. I'd still be learning and I'd still be on my way there to it. Whereas I know, like, even today I've gone on visits with people and I've made little changes that have like changed someone's life. For me, it's only a little thing that I've gone in and done, but to them it's like, even when you go to someone's house and they offer you a cup of tea and you're like, oh no, and they go, oh please, you're like, oh go on then, I'll have a glass of water, so then you could be the only person you talk to in that person's life, and I think they might not speak to anyone for that week, but I know I've been in there and I've sat with them, and yeah, I've gone a little bit off topic with what we're talking about, but it's nice to know that they're talking to someone and they've got someone there for them, and I think that's the thing that I really like about my job at the minute.
So that's the rewarding side of your role in apprenticeship. Is there any challenges you find?
I think the only challenge I've got, to be fair, is the time management. I think that is quite a big one, because obviously it is really difficult going from college where on my T-level I had 1 day a week where I wasn't even there, and then some of my days there were half days, and then now I've gone from doing that to now being in full-time employment as well as learning. And I think time management, at the beginning I found it really difficult, and I also have an extension on one of my assignments, but I knew that was there for me and that really helped me, and I got my results and I passed, but I knew that I wouldn't have done that without the extension. And then I think another thing with time management is you get given that much to do with the college, but then you feel like you go in and you don't have the time to do it. But with the support that I've got from my college, I've spoken to them and they've given me ways around it. So if I need to, I can ask my manager and he'll give me half a day to focus on my college rather than working. So they're quite flexible like that, and even though it's a disadvantage having to manage your time a lot more and it's becoming stressful, there's advantages because my manager, he understands that and is quite helpful with that, and so is my college as well.
Yeah, that time management comes up a lot with apprenticeships. That's one of the biggest things that people are taking that not only in their career but through life, like a life skill of going from that to that. 2 more questions. So what are your future career goals and how's this apprenticeship going to help you get to where you want to be?
My future career goal is to be a physiotherapist, and if I do this apprenticeship and then after this I'm going on to, so this will leave me as a band 4, and then I can then do something to top it up to make it so that I'm a qualified physio, so that'll be my next step.
Yeah, brilliant. And then final question for me, would you recommend apprenticeships and why? Why would you recommend?
Honestly, I would recommend apprenticeships. I know everybody learns differently, and obviously with some people they might find it easier sat down reading a book and doing things like that, but I think if you're like me and you like being hands-on and you like seeing what you're learning and things like that, then definitely, because I don't think I'd be like where I am now without apprenticeships. I don't know, I think it's one of them things in it where everyone's different, but for me personally this is the best option I could have taken, and it probably is for other people out there.
Awesome, thank you.
So you talked about obviously feeling prepared for your apprenticeship, and you talked about how you felt at the very beginning of your T-level placement. How did doing the T-level set you up for the apprenticeship?
I think it set me up because obviously during my T-level I'd had that time on placement, and I had that knowledge of what I was expecting. So if I didn't go on placement, I'd have been a bit like, oh well, how do they do this? How do they do that? Like, what happens if this happens? But on my placement, especially the long placement, I saw that much and I experienced that much that I was like, oh well, if that happens then they do this. Like, I've already seen that happening. You know, there wasn't much I needed to worry about because I'd seen a lot of it, so I knew kind of what I was going into.
Yeah. No, that's good. Some of our learners, they'll say, oh, I want to be a paramedic, and then they'll go off and do a placement and realise, oh God, I can't stand the sight of blood, or...
Oh yeah, definitely. I had a bit of the same, to be fair. So while I was on placement, I saw somebody have blood taken, and I thought, nah, I can deal with this, you know. Went in and I watched, and with that I went real late. I did. The nurse had to sit me down and everything, and she was like, are you alright? I was like, I thought I'd be alright with blood. So that ruled out nursing for me, because I knew full well I can't take blood, and even though if I'm out with a nurse and they're taking blood, I'm like, do you want a drink? And I'll go get the patient a drink while they're taking the blood, because I can't see blood being taken.
Okay. Well, it's a good way to find out though, isn't it? Yeah. Like you say, if you'd got this idea in your head, I'm going to be a nurse, having that experience very early on, confirmed to you, actually, no, that's not.
There was people on my course as well, so one of them wanted to be a mental health nurse, and they'd gone on placements and things, and then when they got back they was like, I don't want to be that. and then the same thing happened again with them, and they went out, and then there was like, oh, I don't think I want to do that either. But then in the end, they found something they wanted to do because of their last placement. So I think it has helped quite a lot of the people on my class to kind of finalise like, oh yeah, I do really like that, or I didn't really like that.
Yeah, it's a good way to experiment, isn't it, and find,
definitely,
like you say, what the fit is. Obviously, when you go out onto your T-level placement, you are assigned like a line manager or a mentor. What was it about the mentor for you that was really helpful? What did they do to help you settle?
So when I first went, they had a full like timetable of everything I'd be doing that day and who I'd be with and what patients I'd be seeing and things like that. And that really helped me because I think it's quite scary going in somewhere new, not knowing. You walking through the door and you're thinking, oh, where do I go? Like, who am I with today? Who do I speak to? But that really helped me settle in because I knew then, oh, tomorrow I'm with that person. So then at the end of my day, I'd go to them like just to let you know I'm Izzy, I'm with you tomorrow. And then that really helped them because then the next day they'd know me and I'd know them, you know, put a face to the name kind of thing. So that really helped.
Brilliant. What else? What other kind of things did your mentor do? So that's really helpful. So setting you up for the next day. Did you need to turn to them for support in any way, or?
Not really, no. But we had reviewers. So my teacher used to come in, and the person I'd been assigned to for my placement, they used to sit there and talk and say, well, these are the next girls. Like, can she do this next week? Can she do that? And that really helped as well because I knew what I needed to do to improve, and also I knew what I'd done well. So it was a bit of like a good thing and a bad thing, but I knew that I needed to do that to improve as well. So that was really good that we did then.
Brilliant, excellent. Similar to what George asked you before around apprenticeships, obviously we come across a lot of our young people across Humber and North Yorkshire who are not sure whether a T-level is right for them. Obviously it's worked really well for yourself. What would your advice be to any other young person maybe considering a T-level?
I think if that's what you want to do, then definitely go for it. I think a lot of people get scared because they don't know what to expect, and obviously it's quite new still and there's not a lot out there, but I think it's worked for me and it's worked for a lot of people. So if like that's what you've got your heart set on, then go for it because in the long run it'll work out really good.
Excellent, thank you. And last question from myself. Why health and care? Obviously you've talked a little bit about your grandparent previously. What is it about health and care do you think you wish more people would know or experience?
I think I wish a lot of people would experience like how good it feels inside just to help someone. And I know people, like you see people post about it on social media like, oh, I helped this homeless man today, or I helped this person. But I think when you actually work in it, you're not doing it for the credit, you're not doing it for people to see you doing it. You're doing it because you want them to feel better, and it makes you feel better inside as a person. Knowing when you go home on the night like, yeah, I've helped that person, or even little things like, oh, that this person had an accident, so now they're sleeping in clean bedding rather than dirty bedding, which it would have been if I didn't go, and things like that. So it's just little things like that, like it is quite a nice thing to be doing.
Well, we'd like to say a huge thank you to Izzy for sharing your story with us today. We can hear how much you really loved your T-level and are delighted to hear that it's led now to you being on an apprenticeship route. If you are interested in finding out more details about T-levels or apprenticeships, you can check out our website at hmycareershub.co.uk.